Well, everybody, I'm Banana Man, and welcome back to Assassin's Creed Revelations. Last time, we finished up most of the story for this whole game. We saved Sophia, found out Yusuf died. It was all very sad and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But this time, we get to play Walking Simulator. Um, this is really just going to be mainly story stuff, so I'll probably be quiet for most of it, but there'll be some talking during, like, when we're walking, like we're about to right now. And then the game will be over. So, just prepare yourself. Ezio and Sophia have arrived at Massif after many weeks of travel. Time to open the library.
This way.
I know my way around, bitch.
Such a climb.
Oh, I don't have to walk. I can run.
È così bello qui. This is where your order began?
It began thousands of years ago, but here it was reborn.
By the man you mentioned, Altair?
Altair ibn La'ahad. He built us up, and set us free. He saw the folly of keeping a castle like this. It had become a symbol of arrogance, and a beacon for all our enemies.
And the mandate for menacing hoods? Was that his idea as well? You mentioned a creed before. What is it?
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted.
That is rather cynical.
It would be if it were doctrine, but it is merely an observation of the nature of reality. To say that nothing is true is to realize that the foundations of society are fragile, and that we must be the shepherds of our own civilization. To say that everything is permitted is to understand that we are the architects of our actions, and that we must live with their consequences, whether glorious or tragic.
That's deep.
Do you regret your decision to live as an assassin for so long?
I do not remember making that decision. This life, it chose me. For 3 decades, I have served the memory of my father and my brothers, and fought for those who have suffered the pain of injustice. I do not regret those years, but it is time to live for myself, and let them go. To let go of all of this.
Okay, here we go. Boy, the rings and the constellations.
The end of the road.
What do you hope
Interact.
to find behind that door?
Knowledge, above all else. Altair was a profound man and a prolific writer. He built this place as a repository for all his wisdom.
Oh, I see what's going on here.
He saw many things in his
No.
life, and learned many secrets, both troubling and strange. Knowledge that would drive lesser men to despair.
Does that worry you?
Oh, I can rotate it.
Sophia, you should know by now that I am not a lesser man.
Someone
Ezio.
keeps texting me. It buzzes my phone every single goddamn time. I don't need a goddamn hint. I can figure this shit out on my own. Okay, fine.
Those diagrams look like constellations, Ezio.
Really?
Capricorn, the Eagle, the Sagittarius. Perhaps the keys belong to one of them.
Oh, so it's like once you find one, it's oh, okay, that's what confused me. I didn't realize all the keys belong to one constellation. That's easy.
You had better come out of there alive.
I plan to.
Explore Altair's library. Man. This is really slow. But I mean it's the end of the journey for Ezio. This is it. Once we do this, there's no more. Ezio goes poof into the memories of us all. That sounded like I was trying to be profound, but it really wasn't.
No wisdom. Just you, fratello mio. Requiescat in pace, Altair. You have seen to my books.
Yes. Some we sent with the Polos. The rest will go with me to Alexandria.
Good. Very good.
Father, I do not understand. Why did you build a library if you did not intend to keep your books?
You should go. When the Mongols return, Masyaf must be empty.
I see. This is not a library at all. It is a vault.
It must stay hidden, Darim. Far from eager hands. At least until it has passed on the secret it contains.
What secret?
Go, son. Go be with your family. And live well.
All that is good in me began with you, Father.
In much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow.
This entire game seems to be about circles. Like its main thing is all of the storylines come to a loop. We came down here, lit all the torches, now we're leaving. The torches are going out. The beginning started with the carriage ride, going to Masyaf and having a carriage ride. The end was having a carriage ride and then going to Masyaf. It seems to be kind of more of a closing thing, which is kind of cool.
To our family, what does the apple say?
Who were the ones who came before? What brought them here? How long ago?
Get rid of that thing!
This is my duty, Maria. Maria? Where are you? Where is she?
Oh. I've been standing here thinking I'm going to sit down at the chair.
Not remember? She's gone.
If you are asked, say I sent the apple away. Tell them I sent it to Cyprus, or Cipango, or that I dropped it into the sea. Tell them anything to keep men away from this place. This apple must not be found. Not until the time is right.
Okay then, but how did the apple get found like originally? Like, 'cause it was definitely in, Brotherhood and 2. Sad. But it was in the other games.
Another artifact.
So there's 2 apples?
No. You will stay here. I have seen enough for one life. Desmond?
He's talking to me?
I heard your name once before, Desmond. A long time ago. And now it lingers in my mind, like an image from an old dream. I do not know where you are, or by what means you can hear me. But I know you are listening. I have lived my life as best I could, not knowing its purpose, but drawn forward like a moth to a distant moon. And here at last, I discover a strange truth. That I am only a conduit for a message that eludes my understanding. Who are we, who have been so blessed, to share our stories like this? To speak across centuries. Maybe you will answer all the questions I have asked. Maybe you will be the one to make all this suffering worth something in the end. Now, listen.
Do you hear me, Cypher? Can you see me? Ah, there you are. Good. A strange place, this nexus of time. I am not used to the calculations. That has always been Minerva's domain. I see you still have many questions. Who were we? What became of us? What do we desire of you? You will have your answers. Only listen, and I will tell you how. Both before the end and after, we sought to save the world. We built vaults within which to work, each dedicated to a different method of salvation. They were placed underground to avoid the war which raged above, and also as a precaution should we fail in our efforts. Each vault's knowledge was transmitted to a single place. It was our duty, mine, Minerva's, and Juno's, to sort and sample all that was collected. We chose those solutions which held the most promise, and devoted ourselves to testing their merits. 6 we tried in succession, each more encouraging than the last, but none worked. And then the world ended. earth shook for days, the fires burned for weeks, and when the ash had settled, less than 10,000 of your kind still lived, and far fewer of ours. But we carried on, together, to rebuild, to renew. Listen, you must go there, to the place where we labored and lost. Take my words, pass them from your head into your hands. That is how you will open the way. But be warned, much still remains in flux, and I do not know how things will end, either in my time or yours.
Wait, look, his vitals are stabilizing. Something's happening. He's moving.
Desmond, can you hear me? Son?
I know what we need to do.
Okay, that's it. End of the Ezio trilogy. End of Revelations, whatever you want to call it. I typically spend this time to say my thoughts on the series, you know, what I thought about the game. Personally, when I first played through these games, I really rushed through them, and I regret it. These are such interesting stories, but I realize myself, when I get a new game, I rush through it. It's how I enjoy it, and then I go back later and play it again and really absorb it. Recording these lets me absorb it. I have to take time. It has to sink in. I can't just rush through everything. You know, I gotta watch all the cutscenes. And so watching this again, I feel like it's gonna hold a lot more in my memory now. I'll remember it a lot better. It was a really good story. It was really beautiful game. You know, there were some really sad moments in there. I was just like, ugh, you know, my heart. But I mean, it makes me excited, you know, because now I get to see all of these. I'm seeing these games with a new light, you know, from pretty much a different angle. Because when I first played them, I rushed through them. Now I'm not, so I'm pretty pumped for the next one we have, which is Assassin's Creed 3. But we won't be getting to that until after the next 2 episodes. I say 2, might be more, might be less. Where we're doing all the little parkour things. Those have some pretty good stories. So if you want to skip those, go ahead, but it's going to be a couple weeks before we get to 3. So, anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all did, come back next time for more. Well, not for more. Well, yeah, for more Assassin's Creed Revelations. That was a fucked up ending. I'm sorry.